name is Travis Morris. I want to talk to you why Harley Davidson is a better bike to buy than an Indian. Both are American made. Indian did come out before Harley Davidson did, about 2 years. But Harley Davidson had the much better bike, the better performance. He wanted to make sure he had a good quality bike. In 1903, Harley Davidson offered up this bike as the first production bike to challenge the Indian industry. They started winning races, dominating them. And so Indian went out, bought this bike off the dealership, took it home, and tore it apart. They found a part that Harley Davidson forgot to patent. When they did this, they went down, signed a patent on it, and made Harley Davidson quit using this part. That made them struggle for a little bit. But it didn't last very long, because Harley Davidson had the technology, the engineering to figure out how to build a good motorcycle. In 1910, they decided to come out with this bike right here. They entered the motorcycle industry of racing, taking on endurance races, hill climbs, winning them, and made a name for themselves. Harley Davidson is becoming a name. With a name, you gotta have a bar and shield, an emblem. That's what everybody is going to get to know. What is Harley Davidson? By seeing this emblem, you'll see it as a tattoo on somebody's arm. You'll see it in the clothing that they wear. It's an iconic emblem that is American made. That lets you know that this is a good quality bike. It has a good, rich industry of organizations that are involved in it. Harley Davidson wanted to go bigger than that though. So they went worldwide, starting with selling to Asia, Japan. They had 200 nationwide. This happened in 1912. Also, around this time, Harley Davidson started growing. They really wanted to make known that they were American made. They sold the motorcycle to the United States Army in World War I in about 1918. They had guns added to them, had them painted green so that they could be a part of the war to help support America. Also, with that being said, half of their bikes that they were producing were being used in the military to make sure that their name was put out there. When they won that war, the first bike that went into Germany was a Harley Davidson. It was the first American that went into Germany also was riding that Harley Davidson. We're going to compare the bikes now. Comparing them, Harley Davidson, they had the lower class bike that starts about $6,500 all the way down to a bike that goes for about $43,000, depending on the kind of parts that you want. You got trikes, cruisers with stereo equipment, your lower end bikes to get started, the smaller CCs. But a Harley Davidson can go up to stock, up to 109 horsepower. As for the Indians, they had the same looking bike, but they kind of look like an old man's bike with these big round fender flared over. They have the same thing, cruisers or soft tails and all that. But their bikes start out about $9,000 compared to the about $7,000 basically for a Harley. Looking $9,000 for a starter Indian. But they only go up to about $38,000. So it is not maxed out, but they only put out 84 horsepower compared to the 109. Harley has a wide option of parts that you can find worldwide. They have their location in Wisconsin, but that's not the only place. They sold last year 260,289 units last year. In those units, 6,400 employees and 1,498 facilities were out the world. That's counting U.S., Canada, Asia, and the Latin America. As an Indian, they only had 300 facilities here in the United States alone. One of them couldn't even cut it here in Wichita. They were open for about 3 or 4 years and just weren't making enough sales and couldn't handle the dominating of what Harley Davidson was selling. So as you can see, Harley Davidson had overcome obstacles of being cheated out of their technology, but they had the brains to come up with something even better each time. They have a wide variety of options in performance and pricing, and they are worldwide. They are located everywhere. People take tours to drive over here and go over there and buy t-shirts, belt buckles. People will actually put these as tattoos on their body to show that they support such a wonderful bike. I recommend, if you get a chance, buy a Harley. I've owned 2 of them, and I'm in love with them. Thank you for your time.